So yeah, guys, G-Monster here. Today we are reacting to a very interesting video. How do you say it? SpongeBob Conspiracy Part 4. The Evolution Theory. So basically a SpongeBob theory. So, I say we just get right into it. A SpongeBob theory. That's what we got today. Let's see what the theory is.
Are the Bikini Bottom citizens the result of nuclear radiation?
Wait, what?
Who is Pearl's mother?
I don't know.
What is the Krabby Patty's secret formula? These are by far the three biggest questions in the show SpongeBob SquarePants, and today I'm going to be answering all three of them and more with just one theory. Get ready for the darkest SpongeBob conspiracy you'll ever see. This is the Evolution Theory.
What?
We're back with another SpongeBob conspiracy. Guess I'm the
SpongeBob guy. Yo, there are more of these?
You guys sure love these SpongeBob theories.
Alex Bale out with another video. The makers of SpongeBob interfere to put in their own message.
Nice hat, dude.
To brainwash you people. Squilliam sends the doctor in. He's not really a doctor. He's just trying to infiltrate that little round thing on his head there. Oh my God. Thank God.
Wait,
for
he's
Alex
not a doctor?
Bale. Look at that. He's helping me prove my point. You know what? That is awesome.
Dude, that is a flawless hat. Where can I buy one of those?
Other videos, right? I make films and stuff too. Anyone want to watch those? Anyways.
Yes.
By far, the most popular SpongeBob theory out there is the Bikini Atoll nuclear radiation theory. It's pretty simple. It's been confirmed that Bikini Bottom is actually beneath a real-life place called Bikini Atoll. From 1946 to 1958, the United States did nuclear tests there, devastating the area and leaving it radioactive even to this day. The theory states that the reason why the citizens of Bikini Bottom can talk and have formed advanced societies is because of mutations caused by these nuclear tests. And that's about the whole theory. Even though there's tons and tons of videos about it, none of them actually go in depth with it or really look through the show for evidence. But y'all know that if Alex Bale is making a theory on it, then it's not going to be some baby surface level analysis. I will watch every single episode of SpongeBob. I will read every page of the goddamn Wikipedia. If I'm making a theory on it, then you guys know it's going to be good. And once I really started looking into this theory, I realized that there is so much more here than anyone thinks. Get ready, because today we're going to be solving the biggest mysteries in the history of SpongeBob SquarePants and changing the way you look at the entire show. So without further ado, let's begin the theory.
Okay. The Bikini Atoll Theory.
In order to find out whether the Bikini Atoll theory is true, we first have to determine whether fish talking and being so intelligent is unique to Bikini Bottom, or if that's just the way the SpongeBob universe
I thought that was normal.
You know, it could just be that all animals in this world are able to talk, and that's completely normal because at the end of the day, SpongeBob is still just a cartoon. Well, if we take a look
we
at
can
season
talk,
10,
we're
episode
animals.
10, Feral Friends, we get a bit of a hint about how the SpongeBob world works. In this episode, a green moon appears and transforms all the characters into less cartoony, real-life versions of themselves.
I may have missed this episode. Uh-oh!
Just like in real life, they can't talk and end up trying to eat each other. The French narrator is watching all this unfold, and he says this very important line.
I have been monitoring the behavior of the green moon all day. It is called Neptune's moon. Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom into primal fish.
Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom
basically,
into
like the
primal
solar
fish.
eclipse.
So this implies that the characters in Bikini Bottom are more evolved and were once like these primal fish. But this doesn't prove that the evolution only exists in Bikini Bottom. It could still be a worldwide phenomenon. Remember that bonus DVD clip I found in my television theory? It was about humans studying fish in Bikini Bottom because of their intelligence.
Land-loving scientists have tried to learn the secrets of intelligence.
What? What are you doing to that guy?
Where the citizens of one undersea colony demonstrated a genius so enormous, the scientists felt compelled to record their actions for use in teaching mankind how to live better.
This makes it sound an awful lot like the fish in Bikini Bottom actually are uniquely evolved and it's not some worldwide phase. Then, in the SpongeBob 20-year anniversary special, SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, we get a major piece of evidence for this theory. SpongeBob and Patrick take a tour of the surface world and eventually go to a fish store and see some very realistic, less evolved fish.
These guys are...
What kind of monsters would want to keep fish folk in jail like this?
They're so beautiful.
They can't talk back to SpongeBob and Patrick, and they're actually able to swim freely through the water instead of being affected by gravity. They are clearly showing us that both evolved and primitive fish exist in this universe at the same time. Now, sometimes we've seen Bikini Bottom characters represented as realistic fish like this, but only when they're out of water, never while they're still in water like these fish. We even see this again in the beginning of the third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. The movie opens with a coral reef full of these realistic primal fish, but eventually we get to Bikini Bottom where the more evolved fish live. So there you go, direct proof that the citizens of Bikini Bottom are uniquely evolved. This is a very deliberate world-building choice for the creators to make. So I guess that kind of confirms the Bikini Atoll theory. Theory confirmed! We did it! Woo! Well, let's hold on for a second.
Okay,
as much as I'd love to call this theory complete, there's actually one major piece of evidence that gives me some resistance. Something I've never seen anyone else bring up when talking about this theory. Prehistoric Bikini Bottom. We've seen episodes like UGG or SB129 that show Bikini Bottom millions of years in the past. But
I grew up watching this! Let's go!
Sure, they may not be super intelligent or advanced, but
I remember these, man!
Than the primitive, realistic versions we see in Feral Friends or in the fish store. So, how are we seeing these evolutions millions of years before the Bikini
Life was so
tests?
simple back then.
Well, unfortunately, I think the only
Like, I'm sorry, but anyone who was a 2000s kid, life was so simple back then. You would just get up, get your Gorilla Munch, Panda Munch. I personally preferred Panda Munch. And then you would just watch SpongeBob. Or on the weekends, you would go to Granny's, raid her pantry, and you would watch SpongeBob and... simple times, simple times. Fun times, too. Or, yeah. Alright.
Conclusion is that the Bikini Atoll theory just isn't true. I mean, clearly something has caused Bikini Bottom citizens to be uniquely evolved, there's no denying that. But whatever caused it took place millions of years ago and couldn't have been the Bikini Atoll nuclear tests. Then, what really caused the evolution? In the entire show, the only thing we've seen that directly affects the evolution of characters is the Green Moon and Feral Friends. Except the French narrator specifically calls it Neptune's moon.
It is called Neptune's moon.
Named after the ruler of the seven seas, King Neptune. King Neptune is a character who's been around since the beginning of the sea. He's a character who the Bikini Bottom citizens view as their god. And he's a character who has the ability to change fish into other forms. King Neptune used his magic to turn the fish of the sea into more evolved subjects for him to rule over. He's the one who's been behind it all this time. Now, I could spend this entire video talking about King Neptune and his weird continuity and contradictions in the show, but I'll save that for another theory. What I'd much rather talk about are the implications of having evolved and primitive fish coexisting in the sea. Now, we know that this evolution isn't specific to just Bikini Bottom. We've seen different cities and places far across the ocean that still have talking fish, which makes sense because the marine life in Bikini Bottom has evolved to resemble humans, so it's no surprise that just like humans, they've expanded beyond Bikini Bottom and colonized other areas of the sea. But now, I have an interesting question for you. What is the relationship between evolved fish and primitive unevolved fish? Well, they probably just peacefully coexist in the sea without bothering each other. You know, just like real-life humans and animals. Wait a second.
Yeah, about that.
In Season 3, Episode 10, the Krusty Krab training video, there is this hilarious, absurd moment when they're talking about Mr. Krabs.
After the war, Krabs stayed secluded in
Wait, Krabs was in a war?
Like, what war happened in Bikini Bottom? They just tell us this and then completely drop it. But with this new context, is it possible that Krabs fought in a war against these primitive, wild fish of the sea? I mean, let's remember in Feral Friends, some of the evolved fish were massive compared to the evolved fish, and they immediately started attacking each other.
The battle for the survival of the fittest rages on in the animal kingdom.
So yeah, in order for the Bikini Bottom citizens to survive and expand, they would probably break into some kind of war. And from the sounds of it, this war must have been pretty brutal to put Mr. Krabs into such a deep depression. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Is there actually any evidence that proves the war Mr. Krabs fought?
The guy on the right! Oh my goodness, he has a...
Well, through the few flashbacks we get, we know that Mr. Krabs served in the Navy. And yes, they were sailing ships.
You might want to check your abdomen area, buddy.
This is actually a real-life phenomenon where certain parts of the sea can have a higher level of salinity, and it looks like an underwater ocean. Shout out Miss Parks, my high school marine biology teacher? We also know from maps of Bikini Bottom that the town is surrounded by this underwater ocean. So that places Mr. Krabs' war outside of Bikini Bottom where this evolutionary war would have to take place. Then if we take a look at Mr. Krabs' home, we see it is full of memorabilia from his past days in the Navy. But hidden within here is something that will absolutely blow your mind and answer one of the biggest questions in the show. Hanging there on his wall is a picture of a massive whale next to a ship. You don't think that could be... No.
Pearl's mom.
Pearl's mother? Pearl is Mr. Krabs' whale.
Well, who else would it be?
The show never really explains how a crab can be the father of a whale, but most people just assume she was adopted. People have been speculating about who Pearl's biological mother is for years, and I think we finally just found our answer. We see 2 photos of this whale on a ship in Season 3, Episode 9, just 1 episode before we find out Mr. Krabs fought in a war. Since this is among all of Mr. Krabs' Navy stuff, I think we can assume that this is something he encountered and not just some random picture of a whale on a ship above the ocean. The whale is massive compared to the ship. We've seen adult whales in Bikini Bottom before, but they are nothing compared to the size of this whale. This has a much closer resemblance to Pearl when she de-evolved in feral France and became massive. So this has to be an unevolved primitive whale, and the picture clearly shows them fighting. Not only does this prove that there was a war between evolved and primitive fish, but Mr. Krabs definitely fought in it. But this also implies something very dark. Mr. Krabs killed Pearl's mother. The only direct reference we get in the show to Pearl's mother is one of Mr. Krabs' many sayings, Mother of Pearl.
Mother of Pearl!
It all makes sense now.
He uses it in places something like holy crap or dear God, only saying it when something truly shocking or terrible happens, because he knows the terrible thing that happened to Pearl's mother. Why did Mr. Krabs go into such a deep depression after the war? Because he's haunted by what he's done, and the smoking harpoon to prove it is right there on his wall. So that leaves us with an important question. Why did he adopt Pearl? After he killed her mother, he probably realized she had an infant daughter who had the evolutionary genes. Instead of leaving her to die, he adopted her as his own, all while keeping the dark secret that he was responsible for her mother's death. Woo! Childhood ruined yet? Well, don't worry, there's still time for this theory to get even worse. Now's your chance to remove yourself before things get really dark.
Well, if that's the case, I will go ahead and remove myself. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Still here?
No.
Okay,
yes.
So here's a fun question. What's the deal with all the pets in Bikini Bottom? How come most fish are basically humans, but a snail or a worm acts like a pet? Well, just like humans have domesticated wild animals, it should be no surprise that evolved fish have domesticated primitive fish as pets. Unlike the massive primitive fish that the Bikini Bottom citizens had to go to war with, there's also smaller primitive fish like jellyfish, snails, spirit worms, seahorses, and clams that the Bikini Bottom citizens were able to form a symbiotic relationship with. Aww, and I thought you said this was gonna be the dark part, Alex. They're living peacefully together. That's nice.
Are they though?
Okay, you got me. Here's another fun question. Where do the citizens of Bikini Bottom get their food? I mean, sure, some of it is plant-based, but there sure does seem to be an awful lot of meat-based food under the sea. I think you know where I'm going with this. The Bikini Bottom citizens eat primitive fish. Haha, it's not cannibalism if they're less evolved than you, right? There's no moral dilemma there. In Season 3, Episode 13, we see direct proof of this when the characters go fishing for primitive clams. This is something completely normal in this world. And then there's the chum bucket, which sells chum. Chum. Chum is literally just...
Well, holy crap! Somebody just subscribed to me during a recording. Real Frank, thank you so much for the subscribe, man. I had my Streamlabs on. Sorry about that. But yeah, shout out to Frank Real. Shout out. That's cool, dude. Thank you so much for subscribing. You rock.
Round up fish. The show isn't even hiding this. Now, we don't really see too much of the meat harvesting side of Bikini Bottom, and I'm not surprised they're keeping it on the DL, you know, with the whole cannibalism thing, but there is one secret to making food that is kept more secret than anything in Bikini Bottom. The best kept secret in the entire show.
Krabby
You already
freaking
know what I'm
Patty.
gonna say. The Krabby Patty secret formula. Throughout the show, there's been lots of contradictory evidence about the Krabby Patty secret formula. In Season 4, Episode 7, Mr. Krabs says it's an old family recipe.
Your mother knows the Krabby Patty formula? Of course she
Oh
does.
yeah, right.
It's an old
And then he
family
dates his
recipe.
mother.
But in season 5, episode 1,
But she
apparently
figures that
Mr.
out
Krabs
later.
discovered it on his own by accidentally mixing random ingredients together.
Oh yeah. Wait.
I've done it.
We got.
I discovered the perfect patty batter.
Sometimes it's a secret formula, sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's
I
a
would
secret
not even
sauce,
remember
and
those.
any glimpse we get at the formula is just random nonsense. There is a ton of contradictory evidence out there, but I think this might all be intentional. In order to throw people off, Mr. Krabs has spread misinformation about the Krabby Patty formula. In fact, he's already done this in season 3, episode
I've seen
18
that
by
episode.
hiding a fake
I've seen
formula
that.
for Plankton to find that says he's the secret ingredient.
Mixed together with the
I've seen that too. Wait, that's the same one.
4 heaping pounds of
Freshly ground plankton. Ah!
And the contradiction
Yeah!
inside
I remember the
Even one of
scream too,
SpongeBob crew
man.
members once said that Krabby Patties are
I'm
vegetarian.
a 2000s kid. What can I
I've
say?
been a little suspicious about what the creators say. They've also said that they're not allowed to show fish as food, except they clearly do with chum, clam fishing, and all the many, many gags where fish turn into food. It's
Yup.
almost like they're not allowed by Nickelodeon to publicly acknowledge this because that could create a controversy, but they could still sneak this dark secret into the show. So, what is the true secret ingredient? Where does the meat really come from? It's strange, we never really
I
see
think I
Mr.
know.
Krabs get the meat delivered, or at least go out himself to get it. It's almost like he has all the meat he needs stockpiled somewhere. What primitive meat can Mr. Krabs have access to? Maybe he's been holding on to something from the war. What could Mr. Krabs
Yup.
have killed during the war that he doesn't
I know
want
what it
anyone
is.
to
I know
find
what it
out
is.
about? Something big enough to supply him with meat
Ah,
for
that
years
episode.
without needing more.
Squidward got thick.
What could that be? You really gonna make me say it?
Pearl's mom.
Mr. Krabs is using Pearl's dead mother's
Yeah.
carcass to make Krabby Patties. Woo! We did it! Yeah, we solved the mystery. We did it. I'm so glad. Season 1, episode 15, Sleepy Time. Mr. Krabs has a dream that he's on a boat fishing for a massive dollar. This is his memory of killing Pearl's mother, except now all he sees her as is money. And take a guess what name he calls the dollar.
What you doing, Mr. Krabs?
I'm picking Neptune's pocket.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about cold hard flipping cash. It's the mighty Moby Dollar.
Moby Dollar. A direct reference to Moby Dick, a story
What'd you
about
call me?
hunting a
Oh.
whale. Are you kidding me?
Yup.
And that is the
That-
evolution
okay, that
theory.
makes sense.
I warned you guys this would be a dark one. The Bikini Atoll theory, King Neptune, Pearl's mother, the Krabby Patty formula, we hit everything in this theory. Even if you don't agree with all of it, you gotta admit a lot of this makes sense. Eugene Krabs' aspirations for money and greed have caused him to do terrible, terrible things. At least his love for Pearl seems to be real, so maybe there's some small amount of good in him. And even though Pearl's mother probably provides tons of meat, eventually he's gonna run out and he'll have to face what he's done. Well, unless of course there's another whale he has access to. Nope. Nope. No. No. No.
Dude,
Mr.
the way
Krabs
he's
wouldn't
looking
do
at
that.
her,
He
we all
loves
know.
Pearl. He's not just raising her for Krabby Patty meat. Even Mr. Krabs isn't that
Hopefully
much of a
not.
monster.
From every side I've ever seen to the sweetest sound I've heard, I'd gladly give up everything for
Oh!
the money that I've earned.
Huh. Well, alrighty then, that's the end of that theory. Just gonna end it here before there's any more dark plot twists. You guys have been insanely supportive with these SpongeBob theories, so
Dude, I
guess
gotta
have to
watch
make
the
more.
other ones.
I've been your host, Alex Bale. Thanks for watching.
And this is the man behind this, Alex Bale. Subscribe to him. Do it. Do it, please. Wait, what?
Hey, just want to let you know that I think I'm gonna take a break from the SpongeBob videos for a little bit. It's not you. I mean, the videos are great. People love them. It's just, I think I want to go back to making actual films for a bit. Okay then. thanks for everything. I guess I'll just see you around.
Okay, now I want to watch some of his films.
You were unnoticed and unloved. But now you have millions of views. You have sponsors. Why would you forsake them?
I just, I don't want to really make these videos forever. I don't want to be known as the SpongeBob guy.
Too late. What the heck is that?
You really think they will care about your little films?
Don't listen to him, Alex.
Muse. I have given you the gift of knowledge. If you wish to go back to anonymity, then be my guest. But I know who you really are.
Are the bikini...
Alright, we don't need to watch that again. Wow, those were some great theories, dude. Very possible. Very most likely. Dang. But yeah, dude, I was like, I had nothing better to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna react to one of these, this looks interesting. I want to check these out. I've seen them around, and I finally got to react to a SpongeBob theory, so that was really cool. Let me know if you want me to react to more of these, and I will do just that. If you want to see the original theory for yourself without me doing what I do in the background, the original video, along with Alex Bale's channel, link in the description down below. Check him out, subscribe to him. I'd recommend it. Anywho, monsters, I suppose I better close the show down here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm G Monster. Feel free to like, subscribe if you want to, of course. And good night! Oh, Squidward.